Welcome to the most haunted place in Tennessee, or at least one of them. I'm your ghost host, and tonight we are exploring the whispers in Nashville. This is where the famous Belle Meade Plantation once stood, built in 1807. It was one of the largest and grandest homes in all of Nashville. The plantation encompassed over 5,000 acres and was the epicenter for Tennessee's social scene for decades. That was until the Civil War. Many people pass by every day and have no idea. They were walking through an actual portal to the past. The family that had lived here since it was built had been staunch supporters of the Confederacy. She's very curious, but she's also very shy. When the ghost hunters came to investigate, they could hear her footsteps wandering the halls, but they could never get her to show herself. Do you feel that? There's something here. There's definitely some spirits here. These investigators actually caught an EVP on their investigation, but it wasn't Lizzie that they captured. Even though the camera couldn't see him, they knew he was there. They could feel his energy, and they asked him, "Are you trying to communicate with us?" And if you are, then join us next time when we explore more secrets of the most haunted places in America. Until then, don't forget to follow 4 more stories. He doesn't like the cameras, he doesn't like the EMF readers, and he doesn't like the ghost hunters themselves. Let me know down below. In fact, he seems to really hate anyone who dares disturb the peace of this place. And that asked when the camera picked up the voice of the little girl who had died on the lawn. She was only here for a brief moment, but she was able to communicate with them nonetheless. And she whispered, "Yes!" It was actually the former owner of the plantation, Colonel Harding. Let me know down below. I love reading your stories, and I love sharing them on the show. Colonel Harding actually appears pretty frequently on these investigations, moving objects, shaking beds, even interacting with the investigators. Sometimes he's just trying to scare them off, but sometimes he seems to be trying to communicate with them, and that's why the ghost hunters came back. They wanted to know what he was trying to tell them. You know, normally at the end of the episode, I send you home with instructions on how to summon me as your ghost host, but I'm not going to do that tonight. Why? Because the ghost that hates the investigators also hates me. And he's sending me a message right now. Just kidding. Don't worry. He's not actually mad at you. He just wants you to know that he's here. Now, the story goes that the ghost belonged to a young girl who died tragically on the lawn right where that tree is. Some say she was a murder victim, but others say that her heartbroken father simply forgot her there while he went to run to the general store. Either way, she is here, and I can feel her presence. She's never very far from this tree. And there's no better way to experience it than with a ghost tour. Well, other than watching this video, of course. And so, when the Union troops came to claim the home, they did just that. They ransacked the house and burned it to the ground, except for this structure right here, the dairy. Well, you see, even though the home was destroyed, the family still returned. They rebuilt their lives here. And they rebuilt the home, too, even if it wasn't quite as grand as before. So many of the family members stayed here, and so many of the slaves that had worked here stayed here, too. But before they left, they made sure to kill every single animal that the family had, including their livestock and even their pets. Can you imagine the horror of coming home to find every animal that you've ever loved slaughtered? The mere thought of it makes me sick to my stomach. And that's exactly how the surviving family felt. And so this place has been called the most haunted place in Tennessee. I want to take you back now to 1904, because that's when this photo was taken of a ghost that appeared on the lawn. But what about the house? If the home was destroyed, then where are all of the ghosts that once walked these halls? It is said that the ghost of the former enslaved person named Lizzie is one of the friendliest ghosts. Speaking of investigators, let's go talk to them. When they returned, they brought cameras, and this is what they caught. Have you ever seen or heard anything while exploring an old place like this? While most of the ghosts here seem to be friendly, there's one in particular that seems to really hate the investigators. What do you think he looks like? And now it's time for the scariest part of the episode. Well, That was our tour of the most haunted place in Tennessee. Are you ready to visit? Let me know down below.